Hello, hello. Good morning. I'm just going to sip my coffee while I just wait for a minute for this to go live and for everything to start working. Okay, I see a thumbs up. That means that this is working for at least one person. Good morning, Sonia. Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Thank you for sharing this video. I really appreciate that. So for those that are watching the replay, I will get started in just a moment. I sound a bit like a broken record every Sunday morning, but I wait for a couple of minutes to just let this go live in people's feeds so that whoever is available can join us live. Good morning, Allison. Good morning, Natalie. Happy Sunday morning to you all. And so, yeah, if you're watching the replay, just hang in there with me for a minute. You're not going to want to miss today's live because I am showing you a super easy and quick and cute fun fold card / gift card holder. Okay, so don't run. You're going to want to see this. This is something anybody can do. All you really need is paper, like printed paper, cardstock, your adhesives, and something to cut and score your paper with. Like literally, this could not be easier. So thank you so much for joining me. I think I'll get started. I'll start by introducing myself. For those that are joining for the first time, or those that haven't joined for a long time, my name is Zara Premji, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and creative coach from Markham, Ontario, Canada. I have been stamping for almost 10 years, and I was introduced to it by a friend of mine from work who I'm always grateful for her, and I'm always thanking her because it literally has been life-changing for me to find this hobby and this craft and this community of people. And it's actually helped get me through just some really hard times, including the pandemic and everything following that. So I work as an occupational therapist in the school system. I help kids with special needs to be able to function in their school day. I'm a mom of 3. I've got 2 teenagers, which is a full-time job unto itself. And I also have a 9-year-old daughter whom many of you might have met last week as she was my little helper on my Coffee and a Card Live. And what I realized with stamping is, as a busy mom who works and has lots of responsibilities and running around to do, I had found that paper crafting and card making was it fit really nicely into my life. It didn't take very long. It was easy to do. It was fulfilling to me because I would be able to create something beautiful. And then it was also really nice because I could use it to bring joy to somebody else. So I have been doing this for 10 years. And one of the other things that I've realized that I really love is to be able to share paper crafting inspiration with others. And I use paper crafting and card making interchangeably. I mostly do cards, but once in a while I'll do fun little treat packages and things like that. So I really love to share that with others. I love this community of people that join on Sunday mornings, and we love to have our coffee together. So thank you for being here. And I'm going to take one more quick sip of this, and then we're going to get started. Good morning, Shirley. Good morning, Kathy. Hello, Linda from Texas. Good morning, Janice. Are you all drinking coffee, water, tea? Tell me what you're drinking in the comments. All right. So I'm going to flip this, and I'm going to show you really quickly the card that I'm going to be creating for you today. I did give you a little sneak peek on my business page, but I'm going to show you the inside of it, which is super cool. If you like to be surprised, I would suggest you look away, and I'm going to show you how this, I'm going to create it in a different color way, and I will show you how easy it is to make. And then if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you a third version of it, okay? So this is the card. And when you look at it, it just looks like a simple card, but it's actually opening this way. And then there is a little insert here. So the designer series paper, or our pretty pattern paper, does all the heavy lifting. And all I am using is just one quarter sheet of cardstock. So with 1/4 sheet of cardstock and 2 pieces of pattern 12 by 12 pattern paper, you can make 4 of these cards. Okay, where's my hands? 4. You can create 4 of these cards. So it is super cute, really easy to make. You don't need a ton of product. And of course, if you don't have the stamps or the ink colors or even the paper that I'm using, please go ahead and modify with whatever you have on hand. I just love to encourage people to create and craft and carve out some time for themselves, okay? So, and the other thing I'll show you is that this card will stand up. So even though it's not a folded card base, the designer series paper will help it to stand up. So it's a really, really cute and easy to make card. Some of the products that I'm using are from the mini catalog, and then I am using an oldie but goodie stamp set from the annual catalog. It's called Christmas Season. The reason that I used this stamp set is because it has these really nice sprigs and it has coordinating dies. Now, I always say this, if you don't have this, if you have anything else, if you even just have a punch that will punch out sprigs, you could totally use that. I'm also going to show you an embellishment that we have that'll be used as a sprig. So you can like just tweak it, modify it. Now, before I go on to this, I want to talk about something that is unrelated to stamping. And it's something that kind of came my way at a time where I was really ready to receive this message. Okay, let's put it that way. So I want to talk about this concept of rest because it's something that has dawned on me over the last few weeks that I had not been allowing myself to rest. Now, it's not the same as sleeping. I don't think that, I mean, of course, sleep is rest, but I am talking about those moments in the day where we allow ourselves to just do nothing, have no stimulation from our phones, nothing from the TV, just literally sitting, or even if it's for a moment in your car, to just take a few deep breaths, or to just pause in the middle of your day, or while you're making a bajillion Christmas cards to send out to everybody. This is something that I have realized for myself, I have not been incorporating into my day. And the results of that, I think, were kind of over the long term, really kind of taking a toll. And I had long ignored the signs of burnout, and I just ended up in a place where I just felt completely depleted energetically. And yet at the same time was feeling guilty because I didn't have the energy to do all the things that I thought I needed to do. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about that, but I just want to read you one quote from here, and I want you to just marinate on this for a moment. So I apologize if this offends anybody. I feel like I have this platform where I am connecting with hundreds of women mostly. And I think that this is something that I have seen very widespread in my family, in my circle of friends, in my circle of like almost anybody that I know. So I want to just talk a little. This is a book called Rest, The Art of Doing Less. It's by Joseph Bennett. And it's a really easy read. It's, oh my goodness, like 97 pages. And you can see there's like so many spaces and stuff. I got through this in a day, but I just want to read you one quote. There's so many things in here that resonated with me. And I just want you to think about this for a moment and also start to think, especially because it's a Sunday, if you're watching this live, how can I incorporate rest in my day? And please know that it doesn't need to be an hour of anything. It doesn't need to be a massage. It doesn't need to be a trip to the spa, because that makes it feel so unapproachable and unrealistic. I'm encouraging all of us to think about, where can I even steal 5 or 10 minutes in my day to sit and do nothing and to not feel guilty about it. Okay, so this is what the quote is that I want to read you. I may read other snippets of this over the lives to come, but I hope that you'll bear with me for a moment and then we'll get crafting. Real rest feels like every cell is thanking you for taking care of you. It's calm, not full of checklists and chores. It's simple, not multitasking, not fixing broken things. Jennifer Williamson. So I'm going to let you guys marinate on that for a moment. And if you can think of a way that you might be able to commit to yourself to carve out some time for rest today. And so put that in the comments just to give each of us ideas. I'll tell you, one of the things that I've been doing is I've been taking naps. Sometimes they're just 15 or 20 minutes, but I am taking naps in my day because I need them. I'm very tired, and when I wake up from them, I'm telling you, I'm a better mom, a better wife, a better friend, a better everything. So tell me how you might incorporate some rest into your day. And with that, let's get started with the crafting. So Janice says, many of us are guilty of not taking time to do absolutely nothing, just time to recharge. Yes. And when we do take time to do nothing, we're probably having on repeat in our head all the things we need to do, or all the guilt we have of not doing something, because we feel like in order to be, productive, we need to be busy all the time. And I can tell you honestly that when you rest, you actually are more productive. So please tell me in the comments, am I alone? Am I the only one that's not resting? I feel like this is widespread. So I showed you the card. And this is like this really cool kind of fun fold card. And I'm going to show you in a different colorway, and then I'll put these two together and I'll show you one more at the end. Okay. So here is the pattern of paper that I'm going to be using. And this is a paper from it returned in our holiday catalog. It's called Painted Christmas. And it is a 12 by 12 paper. This was in our last year's holiday catalog. This is a gorgeous paper pack. It's like one of my favorites that they've ever come out with, and lots of beautiful prints and patterns, very wintry, very festive. I don't have all the pieces left because I've used many of them, but this is what's on the back side. And this is on our clearance rack, and I just checked this morning. It's still available, and it's for $6.60 Canadian. So I just think that this is like gorgeous paper, and it's so cheap right now. It's less than half price. This is one of the other patterns. This is one of my favorite patterns. I'm going to show you another version of this card that has that pattern. So let me just toss this aside. And we're going to start with our piece of designer series paper. And because if you've been watching me for any length of time, this will not come as a shock to you that I am using pink. I look for any opportunity to use pink, and I love, love, love doing pink Christmas cards. So if you look at this pattern of paper, some of these holly berries are kind of like a lighter version of the red, and I'm going to call them pink. Okay, I think they look pink to me. So we're going to use that. So here are the measurements. I will keep these here, and I will try to post them in the description. But if you want to take a quick screenshot of this, let me just actually hold it closer. If you want to take a really quick screenshot, these are the measurements, and you can always come back to this video later and look at it, okay? So that is the measurements for this. So you need one card base, which is a quarter sheet of cardstock, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then you're going to need one piece of designer series paper or pretty pattern paper that is 12 inches by 5 1/4 inches, okay? So it's gonna kind of sit like this on the card base, all right? So this is really easy to score. You're gonna take out, if you have a Stampin' Trimmer, you're gonna want to extend the arm like so. And we're going to score at 4 inches and 8 inches, okay? So it's so easy. You're just basically dividing that into thirds. So you're gonna score at 4 inches, not too hard because you'll tear the paper, and 8 inches. I may have gone a little too forceful on that, okay? Now, before you put this away, I don't know that you'll be able to see it, but I can see the score lines here on my paper. And it's actually showing a little bit better on this piece on this side here, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm lining up the corner of my sheet and one of the score lines, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. The other thing you'll hear me talk a lot about probably in the weeks ahead is perfectionism, because learning a lot about that and how it has impacted me and so many others. So you're just basically going corner to that first score line, and you're just slicing that piece off, okay? Then you can use this piece for another card. So don't toss that. And that's all we need to do with our designer series paper. So then you're going to take your bone folder, or you can use your fingernail, and we're just going to fold that. I think this might actually go in a different direction from my first card. So the angle doesn't really matter unless you're particular about it, but essentially it's going to work either way. And all you're going to do is just take a line of glue. Come on out. I thought this might happen. Okay, there we go. We have a little left in there. I'll just put my glue here, and then I'm just going to seal that side. Now I have glue all over my grid paper. I'm going to just take a tiny piece of something. Here we go. I'm going to take this because my card will land in this glue. Okay, so that's essentially kind of what that front of the card is going to look like. And then you can take this and go ahead and glue it onto your card base. So for those of you that like to hoard your paper and are ready to part with some of it, I encourage you to try out this card layout, okay? Because it's so easy to do and such a good way to use up your paper and clear some space so that when our new papers come out, you can get more. Okay, can you see how that's coming together? And now we're just going to decorate. So I have some of my pieces already cut out. Now, I used for my labels and stuff, I used the scalloped contours dies. These are in our annual catalog. And my matte measurements, so these are called mattes, basically is like the layer underneath. These measurements are based on the size of these scalloped contour, these die cuts, okay? So if you choose to use different dies, then you'll want to basically measure and do your layers that way. The other option here is if you don't have the dies or you don't want to use the dies, just to simplify it, just cut a piece of cardstock rectangular and then just do a mat that's a little bigger, or leave the mat, whatever you prefer, okay? So we are going to now do some of our die cutting and stamping. Okay, so I'm using 3 different ink colors. I feel like it always bears repeating. Use what you have on hand, okay? I'm of course gonna use some Blushing Bride. And I'm going to take this little sprig here. Actually, I'm gonna stamp that again. Yeah, okay, that's how it's supposed to be. And then I'm going to take my Evening Evergreen, and I'm gonna try stamping this off first. I don't want this too dark. So I'm just gonna stamp that off and then stamp it here. Yeah, okay, I love that. That looks a little bit more like our other color, Soft Succulent, but I just didn't want it quite so intense. And then I'm going to stamp my greetings. And I am using a new and exclusive stamp set called Framed and Festive. So this one is not in our catalog. This has been released as kind of a limited time product, but I love the fonts in this. I love the sizes of the sentiments. And I just thought it was perfect for this card. So I'm going to use this one and I'm going to stamp my sentiment in red. Oh, Janice says, when I need a little break, I get a coffee and just sit and read a chapter in my book. That's excellent. I also would encourage everybody to think about not waiting until you feel you need a break to take it, but to actually build in time for rest so that you don't get to a point where you're completely spent. And that is something that I have just not been good at. Okay, so I'm stamping on the front from our home to yours. And then on the inside, I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas. Sandra, that's one of my favorite die sets too, the scalloped contours. Okay, it's so versatile and so many different sizes. So like you can make it work with almost any stamp set. So let's go ahead and glue these onto the mats just so that we don't have so many loose pieces hanging around. And this card, I mean, I kind of had fun with, you know, stamping and die cutting things, but you could literally just stamp the image right onto that label. I think we're going to have to replace the Tombow here. Yeah, you could just stamp right onto your white labels or whatever color you're choosing. There's so many different ways to modify this. So I always say to people, like, don't look at the way I'm doing it and think to yourself, oh, well, I don't have that. I can't make it. If you need help modifying, you can always reach out. And if you do make this, I would love for you to share it. I would love for you to send me a photo, or you can post it on Instagram and tag me, or post it on Facebook and tag me, whatever works. I would love to see what you guys create. Okay. So we're going to set these aside. I'm just going to actually put my ink pads on top of them just to weight down the, just to weight down the glued on pieces. And now we're going to die cut. So I am using the Seasonal Labels dies. What do you guys think of these so far? Is this looking easy enough? Is it coming together fairly simply in your opinion? I'd love to hear what you guys think. Okay. So I'm going to grab my cut and emboss machine and I'm going to die cut these. Let me just move this out of the way. Okay. I could use our mini, which is sitting a little further across from me, but I'm just going to go with this one. And many of you have seen me do this so many times, but I love to use Post-it tape to just get my dies to sit where I want them to before I die cut them. All right, so I'm just going to stick that down. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. So I'm taking my Post-it tape and just sticking it down. This will not tear your paper if you peel it off gently. I can't guarantee it won't tear, but it shouldn't. I've done this many times and it hasn't happened. So now I'm just going to take my clear plate and I'm going to go over this and just run that through. And I'll just peel these off. And we're really almost done. This is kind of like the last part, is just decorating your card. And I have no idea what this color combo is going to look like at the end. I mean, like, I don't know how the finished card will look because this is the first time I'm making it. But I think I'm going to like it because it's pink. Okay, so we've got these, and now we're going to start to assemble. Okay, so I'm going to just do actually I can just tuck this right in. So when you're done with that part, you can actually tuck this right inside. Okay. And then if you want to add a gift card, you can stick it to the back of this. You could just pop it right into that little pocket, although it may fall out. So I would kind of stick it. You can also do this as a money holder if you wanted. So there's different ways that you can do this. And if you feel like you want to tuck money in and want to make sure it's not going to fall out, just cut your angle a little less sharp so that you have a little bit on this side here so that nothing will fall out. Okay, different options available to you. And then let's go ahead and stick these down. Oh, thanks, Margaret Ann. Yes, it is such a quick and easy card, Darlene. It's super easy to do. Okay, I think I might be done fighting with my liquid glue. So let's get out a new bottle. I think this is my last one. So I'm gonna need to order some more. There we go. And a little goes a long way with this. So I'm going to stick this down here. And if you choose to mass produce these, and please keep in mind, like, I know many of you have already probably finished your Christmas cards or, you know, have already figured out what design you might be doing. But you can do this for birthday cards and like make maybe a few of them at once so that you have a stash ready to go if you like to give out gift cards. Or even if you just want to make a cute fun fold card. Now, one of the embellishments I'm going to add is our textural elements. And I went ahead, actually, I don't think I want this. I wanted to just show you that you could color this in red. So you can actually just take your Stampin' Blends. Sorry, my lighting is terrible today. Hang on, that's better. You can actually color these with your Stampin' Blends or Stampin' Write markers to just add whatever color that you'd like, but I'm going to actually go with just the neutral. So this is what they look like, neutral, and you could do whatever you want with them. You can even put little pearls and things like that on them and they will stick down really nicely. So let me just add a little bit of glue here. You can also decide if you want to change the direction because they're the same on both sides. So I don't know which direction I want. I think I maybe want this direction. So once you've decided, just add a little bit of liquid glue, or you can use glue dots for this, and then stick it onto your card. I've had these textural elements for so long, and I have not used them until today. Shame, shame, shame. Okay. All right, and then we're going to take our linen thread, my most favorite, like, ribbon embellishment, I think. And I think this is my last roll, so I'll have to be ordering some of this as well. So I'm just going to take my linen thread. I had already tied the bow. and kept it in the package. And just grabbing my scissors here. It's gonna need to be trimmed down a little bit more. So stick it down right kind of where the different sprigs meet each other. Almost like they're wrapped in twine. You could wrap them too. And then play around with the loops and stuff till you get them to a size you want them. There we go. And then you can go ahead and stick this down using dimensionals. Okay, let me just tidy up this mess here. Janice says, such a cute card. I have to make some money holders for a project a friend is working on and think this would be a great design. That's a great idea. These would be really great for money holders, gift card holders, you name it. And even if you want to put nothing in it, it's just cute with that little insert. I wanted to mention something about handmade cards is my cousin, he moved to Vancouver just this weekend. And last weekend we had just sort of like a little dinner for him, and I decided to make him a card. So sometimes I'll just pull them from my stash, but other times I will actually make one. And so he really loves like scotch and whiskey and things like that. So I used our stamp set called Whiskey Business and created a card for him. I think I took a photo, I'll share it. And he was just blown away by the card. Like he just was like, I can't even believe this card. It's so amazing. It's so perfect for me. I'll never get rid of it. Thank you so much. Like he didn't even care about the gift we gave him. He was like so overwhelmed by the card that it just warmed my heart. And I think that was just kind of a reminder for me that our handmade cards matter to people. When people know that you've created something with them in mind, or it kind of captures their character or personality, like people really appreciate that. So if you're ever kind of like wondering like, why am I doing this? Or, I'll just buy one. No, make the card because it matters to people. So, okay, I am almost done here, and I'm going to just so I'm using, you could use any gems, obviously. I'm using these solid faceted gems. I think I have a new pack here so you can see. There are 180, and it's, I think 6 different colors. And so I'm going to use the pink ones, of course. And I'm just going to pop those right onto, oh my goodness, I love the pink on here. So pretty. And my friends, the card is done. So now maybe I can move this so that I can just show you the card. So that's the card. This is the inside. I would love to know what you guys think about this. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. So glad this inspired you. So this is the inside with your insert. Again, you can stick your gift card on the back or tuck it into the little pocket. So many different ways that you could use that. But it's just also a really fun way to use up your designer series paper or your pattern paper. So here's the other one. And I told you I would show you another version. So let me just clear this off and find that other version. Now, if you've been following me for a while, this might actually look familiar because I had done this card last year, I think, as a live. And I came across it in one of my stashes of cards, and I was like, oh my God, I have to recreate this. So this is using the painted Christmas paper, and this is the inside of it. Oh yeah, Joe, my home to yours. You know what? You're right. There may be a little hack for this. Let me just see. Okay, it would involve a little bit of maneuvering around, but if you were to cover our, and if you had any other stamp that said my, when you are inking this up, you could literally just wipe the ink off of our, and then, or if you have a stamp that says from our home to yours, you could just literally wipe that out and then find another stamp or even just handwrite my, and that would work there. So these are the 3 cards. Okay, so here's the first version, and this is on Pool Party, and that's the inside here. I just use the same stamps for all 3. And what's really nice about this layout is you get to see both sides of the designer series paper. So for those of you that are like, oh, I love both sides and I don't want to cover one up, Well, here's a really good hack for being able to show both. Here's the original, and I use the same stamp set. And this is a different, this is from that same suite. It's called Christmas to Remember. And that's the inside of that. Okay. And then lastly, this might be my favorite because it's pink. And this is the version we made today. And the angle is going in a different direction. Don't get too hung up about it. It's still really good. So those are the 3 cards. And I'll hold up the measurements once more for those that may want to screenshot this. And again, if you are using different dies for your labels, don't use these matte measurements. You could just do whatever works for you, okay? So let me just look at the comments. Debbie says, love this card. So nice to see both sides of the DSP. Oh, thank you, Darlene. I appreciate that. Tina says, beautiful. I'm going to use this for sure. I'm so glad you guys like them. Thank you so much. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. I want to thank you guys for watching today. If you missed the first part of this, I did have a little coffee chat about taking some time to rest. So go back and listen to that, and tell us in the comments if you do plan to create even 5 minutes of time to rest today. So I hope you guys all have a fantastic day and week ahead, and I will see you guys real soon. Bye for now.